Hi, ladies. Are you sometimes feeling lonely, although you're surrounded by people? Like even people you're close with, you're like your family and friends. I often talk to women who live with their partners or spouses and children, have colleagues at work, and have friends to chat with. Uh, and still, they say they feel really, really alone. And if this is something that happens to you too, I'm sure you have noticed with the pandemic going on, it got even more painful for many of us, with our social interactions being quite limited and things happening online more than they happen like face to face. This sense of loneliness and isolation has become an everyday reality for many of us. But it might be for a very different reasons that we believe. Because surprisingly, it is not the lack of company that causes us to feel lonely. And I'm sure you know this. Sometimes, you can be in the middle of a lively party and feel painfully isolated and alone. And sometimes you might be spending long periods of time on your own without any discomfort or even without any desire for company. So, so where is this pain of loneliness coming from, and what can be the remedy? Mm, we often feel lonely even if we are surrounded by other people, because the opposite of loneliness is not company. Loneliness is not the lack of company, it is the lack of connection. So, to put it in a different way, the opposite of feeling lonely is feeling connected, is feeling this sense of felt connection to another person, to ourselves, or even to the world around us. Uh, we are all wired for connection, and without it, we just shrink and wither. And this sense of felt connection is something that we really deeply long for, and it's also like the greatest way for us to feel really content, really fulfilled, and really happy in life. So why is this deep connection such a rare experience if we crave it so much? And the answer is because there is one thing that is necessary, that is like indispensable for connection to happen. And this thing is not so easy to come around. And it is safety. In the polyvagal theory, which is one of the most recent neuroscientific and psychological approach to describe and understand how our nervous system works, yes, it gives us a lot of insights into how this works. So, according to this theory, we have like a special system within our nervous system that is specifically designed for connection and for social interaction, and this is called like the ventral vagal pathway. And this is the pathway that evolved, last in terms of evolution, and its task is to oversee the activity of all other pathways in our nervous system and create the state of health, balance, and social engagement. So, when you're in this ventral vagal state, you feel grounded and regulated, you experience optimal energy levels, you are open to learn new things, you are curious about life. And this is when your capacity for connection is at its fullest. So you are safe, you are open, you are ready to give, and you are ready to receive. And of course, life is life, and we can't stay in this state permanently. So when this system gets overwhelmed, when we detect signals of danger and threat, our nervous system automatically, very automatically, without your conscious awareness even, switches first to the sympathetic pathway, which is all about fight and flight. And if this is not sufficient, then it kind of shuts down into dorsal vagal pathway, which is all about freeze, collapse, basically playing dead mode. By any switch away from safety is always a switch away from connection as well. So, it's either connection or protection. You can't have both. And these switches are, of course, life-saving mechanisms, and all of these pathways are needed, and all of them help us to cope with life in the most adaptive way. But a healthy nervous system is flexible, so it can easily move in between these three states in the response to what's going on around you and inside you as well. And it can restore balance, and it can come back to this ventral vagal state, the state of health and well-being and connection over and over again. But if we experienced a lot of trauma in our life, and we all had, and if we are regularly challenged by the everyday life and events, like think like too much to do, or life feels too stressful or too overwhelming, like you are in a distressed or toxic relationship, like you do a challenging job, then we often spend prolonged periods of time away from this balance and optimal state. And instead, we might be constantly stuck in the state of vigilance, defense, and survival. Either very far away from safety, or what happens most often, on the edge of safety. So nothing intense is happening, and you can still pretend everything is okay. But there is this constant watchfulness that doesn't allow you to relax fully and to rest in here and now. And where there is no safety, there is no capacity for this deep, heartfelt connection. And without this deep, heartfelt connection to others, to ourselves, to nature, to the world around, we get very, very lonely. So the good news is, of course, that we can learn how to come back to this state of safety and connection. That there are easy and really powerful and effective tools that can calm down your nervous system and restore the balance through breathing, through movement, through sounds, and very much through creating a safe connection with another human being, just to name a few. And once you learn and start practicing these tools, then you can gradually restore the flexibility of your nervous system so that it doesn't get stuck in the survival mode so much. Learning how to do this has incredible benefits for your emotional well-being and for your physical health as well, because I'm sure you can imagine, yes, that if you constantly in the state of mobilization or this lifeless withdrawal and switching off, a lot of systems in your physical body can't function properly. So restoring flexibility and learning how to come back to balance is always a huge relief for your physical body. But of course, there is more to it. Learning how to regulate your nervous system will also allow you to experience again, or sometimes even experience for the first time, this close, deep, heartwarming connections that you long for so much with people around you and with yourself. And can you imagine how much richer and more meaningful life becomes once this is done? So this is what I help my clients to do. And just let me know if you want to have a chat. There are easy and effective ways to come back to balance and to stop being in the survival mode so much, so that we can really connect to others and to ourselves as well. So thanks a million for watching, and bye for now.